Candace Owens. Candace Owens fired from the Daily Wire for allegedly promoting anti-Semitism. Daily Wire, Candace Owens have ended their relationship. That was a tweet. And that's they're saying that she was fired and no longer working for the Daily Wire was because her and her boss and their differences on the conflict going off right now.
So if you didn't know, I mean, the Daily Wire is basically a news station where where their motto is, it's freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want here. If you wanna ish on the LGBT community, you can do that. If you wanna talk about how Disney Channel's messing up the whole Star Wars basically universe, you can talk about that. But if you wanna talk about Jews, you can't do that. And it looks like
you said that with a little too much conviction.
So you know what it is. But I mean, it looks like here Ben Shapiro, one of the founders of Daily Wire, has had enough with Candace Owens. It turns out here they've been had differences in the past. We have audio here of Candace Owens basically going to the Breakfast Club, talking about her relationship with Ben Shapiro and how she feels.
Yeah, because like he brought her on for her controversy and her hot takes, and then it's like when she finally has a hot take that goes against him, it's like, oh, it's cool when you're going at everyone else or going at the same enemies, but now that you're going against something I believe in, peace.
Exactly.
So they're saying, that he's contradicting himself by his whole platform supposedly for freedom of speech. But let's check out the video and see what they have to say.
Let's get it on.
I love the way that you and Ben Shapiro are able to disagree, but then I guess still have a business relationship. Because I saw him recently tell you, I think it was maybe a few months ago, he told you to quit over your Israel coverage, your Palestine-Israel coverage.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Well, he told me, the tweet that he responded to was actually just some biblical passages.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought that it was me saying that I had to choose money over I don't know how we interpret it, but it was definitely not. I just meant it as like, peace, calling for peace, because, there was a video circulating of him calling me a disgrace and a faux professional or whatever it was. And I decided to choose peace. And then when I chose peace, he responded to the peace with not peace.
So why wouldn't he just fire you?
Well, as I explained on Tucker Carlson's show, like, Ben doesn't have the power to fire me. And it's not even saying that we disagree on Israel and Palestine.
So basically,
I guess he did.
They do. He did. He disagrees with everything Candace Owens does. He didn't like her for her take on the whole Palestine situation. Then on top of that, she backed up Kanye West when Kanye West was going on his little Jew dislike rant. Backed him up on that. He didn't like that. So. Also, I mean, she's the only one talking to rabbis, giving them problems, and they're saying that anybody that supports Candace Owens doesn't support the Jewish community. And you already know Ben Shapiro is big in the Jew. He supports the Jews really, really, really heavily.
Well, that's his faith.
That's his faith. So I mean,
it's just crazy because it seemed like they coexisted. That he's the leader of the Daily Wire, and he believes his faith, and now that she's covering a conflict and believes that the opposite side actually is more correct than what he's saying. And so they let that difference of opinion be. But it's funny that he actually would call her out on Twitter and said, if this means that you can't work here, then quit. If it's that hard for you, it's crazy that he would say that. But I know sometimes even when you own a company or were the main founder, you have a board of directors and things like that. So he honestly may have not had the power, to fire her right away. Because if he did, he probably would have already done it. But I think he did have the power to slowly influence the leaders that be to eventually come to the conclusion where they do want to, in fact, get rid of Candace Owens. He probably waited till they had enough times of her speaking against it that it could be like, look, she's not going to stop. She's making us look bad. This is going to hurt the overall image of the company. And then they probably decided to, get her out of there at that point. So, his influence worked. It just, wasn't as instant probably as he liked it to be.
So yeah, you already know HR is always gonna pick the company over you. Mm-hmm. So I mean, with this, they even went as far as everything she's saying. They're saying, oh yeah, it's anti-Semitic. It's times where people are tweeting things on Twitter, on X. On X, and she's liking it, and they're saying like, "See, she supports them." So I mean, it's a lot of things that that Candace Owens is doing. But I mean, if she feels like this, she feels like this. I mean, she feels like the people aren't telling the full story, and I hear it a lot that they're saying the way the Americans painting the situation isn't really how it is.
Yeah, because it's with what's it called? Our alliance. They're part of was it NAFTA?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Comment down below. I don't know the abbreviations off the top of my head, but yeah, it's the NAPA.
They're basically our allies in that, so we have to support them. But I think we should just kind of mind our own businesses, and if things aren't really happening where, it's like gonna affect us
war
directly, I feel like we shouldn't, like, anytime there's a conflict, poke our nose in it and then make random people upset at us for no reason when it's really not our business.
Yeah,
let people handle their own business, and if it comes to a point where a country's trying to like take over the whole world, yeah, we could step in. But if they're kind of handling their own stuff, we should just let it be.
Yeah, but you already know how the U.S. is. We
feel like we're the big brother of the world, like we're the parent of the world, and we have to discipline everyone. But having to discipline the whole world gets us in trouble sometimes, and we could have just let it go.
True, we could have just let it go, or like we try to give them money, give them a whole bunch of supplies. So then once we turn around, we'll actually stuff back.
Yeah, if we really want to get into it, people believe that there's like whole shadow governments, and that basically the government sometimes to not like look in trouble, like or get in trouble with these people, that they'll like wire money to people in different ways, and like, oh, give this money to this group of people who then is going to give it to them, and so that way they can like fund wars secretly and do stuff. Apparently we do that all over the world, and I don't doubt it one bit.
You hear about the shadow government and the FBI basically owning a part of Hollywood? How they fund Hollywood? They fund some movies like Independence Day and things like that.
Well, Independence Day is a great movie, so bless them for making that. That's the one good thing they've done.
I seen it on the CIA episode
Will Smith was great in Independence Day.
The dude on the Andrew Schultz podcast. He came on the Andrew Schultz podcast, and he was the CIA dude.
Oh yeah, the dude with the hair.
Yeah, he was talking about how the CIA funds Hollywood, and you can look it up. The CIA funds Hollywood and Hollywood movies to basically put the propaganda out there and basically blur up the story.
Yeah, and then you don't even know how many stories are real or fake nowadays, or sometimes they blow stories up and then suppress other stories. I mean, we've even seen that honestly with our own podcast, that sometimes if we talk about things that are undesirable to mass media, that it seems like that episode of the podcast gets suppressed, where in episodes where we're not talking about anything that's controversial, that one seems to get pushed out like there's no tomorrow. So, I mean, sometimes it even feels like YouTube's playing that game sometimes. So, and they say all social medias are getting, with the AI intelligence and the scanning of everything that's submitted, that they're really able to control that stuff by throttling content up and down or suppressing it entirely.
There was like the Black Hawk Down movie was funded by the government. The Battleship movie, The Sum of Our Fears. Battleship.
They just wanted to see
Top Gun.
What's Justin Timberlake's wife?
I forgot.
Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
Jessica Biel. She's a baddie. I would have paid her $50 million to be in my movie.
Horrible. But I mean, yeah, that goes to show you. I mean, you really don't know what the government is doing. I mean, they're trying to feed. Candace Owens is saying like the government's trying to feed us the wrong information. I mean, that's what Tiffany Haddish said. She's going over there to get the real story. Because I mean,
yeah, but Tiffany Haddish, come on, girl.
That's
not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be in funny movies, not trying to solve world issues.
But comment down below how you feel about this situation. Do you feel like it was good enough reason to fire Candace Owens?
No, I mean, I feel like it's kind of a petty reason just because of different opinion on a popular topic in news. But I feel like she's fine. She'll land on her feet. She has a big audience.
Do what Tucker Carlson does?
She has a huge following on YouTube, so literally she could just keep posting on YouTube with no attachment to Daily Wire and just keep all the funds herself from YouTube instead of probably splitting it with Daily Wire funding her show and advertisers for Daily Wire. So now she'll be self-funded. She'll probably get a new set to differentiate it, but all the money she makes will be hers, and so that'll be nice. She'll be working for herself. True,
and she might do the same thing Tucker Carlson does. Like, he does the whole news station on on X, or she may even end up doing her own little news station.
But I'm saying she already got enough following on YouTube just to go do your YouTube show. You can talk for the most part pretty freely on YouTube.
True.
But it's just, sometimes if you get really into the nitty gritty, there's some haters sometimes. So you just got to watch it.
You gotta watch out. But speaking of haters, this next